Farah Kabir and Sarah Welsh of HANX Intimate Wellness brand. Welcome to Brown Growth Heroes. How are you both today?
Good, thank you. Thanks for
Yeah,
having us.
good.
Now that we've
Thanks.
all had a little cry, it has to be said, right?
Just a
Those
morning
glazed
cry.
eyes.
Just a little cry. We all got on the show here this morning, and we had a little cry because Farah very kindly asked me how I was doing, and we actually all got together about 3 years ago, wasn't it? We were going to do the episode then, and then I got diagnosed. No, actually, it was bang in the middle of around this time 2 years ago when I got diagnosed, and we had to cancel because of my news. So we haven't seen each other since then. And now you asked me how I was doing. So we've had a little bit of a cry, and now we're ready to talk about HANX. So thanks so much for reconnecting and coming on the show. Who wants to start off by telling everybody what HANX is and how you guys are doing? I know you launched in 2018, and I'm really excited to talk about this fabulous femcare brand with you.
Yeah, happy to kick off. HANX is a go-to sexual and intimate wellness brand designed with women in mind. We started with condoms and lubricants in the sexual health space, focused on ingredients and products that were kinder to the body and kinder to the planet, whilst being gynecologically backed, which we felt that there was a real gap in the market for essentially women, which is not a niche market in itself. It's about 50% of the population, but they weren't being addressed in sexual wellness. And since 2018, we realized that actually it wasn't just sexual wellness in women's health that was disconnected. There are other areas of women's health that are disjointed, and there's not a one stop shop there for women to go to for content and products. So, here at Hanks, 6 or 7 years on, we're here to connect the milestones of women's health right the way from your first time to your first child, menopause, and beyond, with gynae backed products that we create, and also a digital first pharmacy online where you can get prescription birth control right the way to plan B, and
Oh,
most
that's
recently
incredible.
weight management. Yeah.
Yeah, weight management. I saw that. We'll get there. That is incredible. So Sarah, you are actually a gynecologist, aren't you?
Well, I'm a gynecology doctor, so yeah, I worked in medicine. Farah and I actually go way back. We went to school together, and we went to the same university. And I studied medicine and went into obstetrics, gynecology, and sexual health. So that was my kind of specialty. And yeah, now I'm the gynae. I'm Dr. Hanks, I suppose you could call me.
Dr. HANX. That's brilliant. I love it. And Farah, you were in Goldman Sachs, right?
Yes, for my sins, or maybe that was where the sins took place. I was at Goldman Sachs for 7 years. And yeah, that's probably where I honed in on most of my commercial and finance experience. So Sarah and I really do have quite complementary skill sets.
That's incredible. And tell us how you came up with the idea that there was, or what was the insight behind building the HANX business or the first product in the HANX business?
Yes, at the time of thinking of the idea, I actually bumped into my boss when I was buying condoms on my lunch break, two doors down from the office, which was quite mortifying. But on my busy working day, uh, went a couple of doors down on Fleet Street to Boots to pick up meal deal, anything else that I needed for the week, makeup wipes, etc. And condoms happened to
Condoms.
be one of those items. Didn't spend much time down the aisle. I literally picked up the first pack I could find and had this bright red pack in my hand. And lo and behold, my boss was behind me in the queue. And he didn't say anything, but I internalized and felt super embarrassed, awkward, wondering what he's thinking of me. Does he think I'm promiscuous or getting up to hanky panky on my lunch break? And all those thoughts were running through my mind. And that embarrassment soon turned to frustration, because actually, when I look at other aspects of my health, I don't feel embarrassed to take control of any other aspect of my health or pick up these other products. But when it comes to sexual health, it's still so taboo. And often culture can come into that as well. And I was explaining this awkward bump into Sarah one day when we were both overworked and we had a random, I think it was a Monday afternoon off. And I was explaining this awkward bump in, and Sarah herself was also seeing a rise of women coming into clinics with hard to treat irritations from the products that they were using, or STIs because they thought their partner was going to carry a condom, or whoever they were going on a date with. So it was it was perfect in the making of two minds in one evening, that made us realize, wow, this is a light bulb moment. Let's actually create sexual health products with women in mind. Why has no one done this before?
And when you say a sexual health product with women in mind, what were you thinking of? Because at that time it was just about, was it about the red pack? Was it about something that looked different? originally, or was
Yeah,
it looked and felt and acted different?
I think when we discussed what was wrong in the market, there are different facets. So if you go down the condom aisle, generally it's garishly packaged, promoting a man's conquest with its language. And as a woman, you're baffled by the choice. You want to be in and out of there as quickly as possible down that aisle. And then when you take it back a step beyond the messaging and even the branding with the bright colours, these products have been created with men in mind for decades. Like there are ingredients in certain condoms that are suited to a man's pleasure. Okay, there are anesthetics in some condoms that extend the pleasure for a man because they give a numbing effect. Never, well, today, up until when we launched HANX, have they been created with a woman in mind, i.e., what's going on down there, the vaginal microbiome, what's healthy for women to use down there. And so that was a
Wow.
key point for us. And so a lot of our time was spent in R&D understanding what's truly capable to build these products as still medical device grade, but what can we truly strip out that is not, that is harmful for, women's health.
That is incredible. So I never thought of that before. That actually, if you started from a new product design point of view, if you started from the point of the women, you would build a very different condom. For example, I know one of my best friends for years and years and years and years and years, every time she uses a condom, she has a UTI. And she reckons that it's to do with an irritation, or I don't know, Sarah, you'd be able to tell us what it is. I mean, I'm sure that's
Yeah.
quite common, right?
Yeah, exactly. And as Farah was saying, we were definitely thinking of kind of vaginal health when we created the product. And I was seeing in clinics, women time and time again, like your friend Fiona, that came in with irritation, recurrent thrush, UTIs, because the products they were using, including condoms, lubricants, other intimate wellness products. And, these educated women who look at exactly everything that goes on in their bodies, from their skincare regime to, what they eat, everything. Yeah, intimate wellness products were just, no one would look at a condom packet and exactly what ingredients were in there. So we felt not only was there a lot to be done in the product itself, the branding, but also the kind of education around that. And as a brand, we felt we could really fit that bill, more so than a doctor, or we're not your doctor, or telling you what to do. We're very much supporting customers along that journey.
And so, I mean, I love your pack, and how I came across you was I read about your story in, I can't remember which magazine it was, but one of the glossies. I think I saw something in one of the newspapers, and then lo and behold, you were on the high street in Port St. Mary. And as anyone who listens to this podcast enough knows, if you get to the high street in Port St. Mary on the Isle of Man, rural village on a rural island of the northwest coast of England, Scotland, and Wales, well, you've really made it mass market. And I thought, HANX condoms in Clear Pharmacy, these guys are doing well, or these girls are doing really well, because that's an amazing distribution point to have. And I thought, what a beautiful pack. It's more like, it reminds me of like something in beauty or something in self-care. But you were really ahead of the time, because this is before the whole kind of skincare, face care, TikTok madness that goes on now. Do you get inspired, or do you take inspiration from the way in which the whole skincare, beauty branding, the way that happens in terms of comms and engagement? Do you take, inspiration from that?
Yeah, we definitely looked at beauty standards and kind of use those cues to guide us. And I think ultimately the overarching principle for Hanks was to be a real and relatable brand that doesn't gloss over the realities of being a woman in the modern day. And in doing that, we wanted the aesthetic to be quite clean, neutral, and quite transparent, for example, with the ingredients, etc. But yeah, the irony is, you know, we did have pushback from retailers saying, "Oh, is it going to stand out because it's white packaging?" And
Can you
actually,
pick up a
when you,
pack, Farah, to show us there?
yeah,
So
of
anyone who's
course,
watching the video,
here's here's one I made earlier.
look how
Another
beautiful that
one.
is. And
They're
what does
slightly
HANX
boxed up.
mean? What does HANX mean? Tell everyone. I know what it means, but
It's short for hanky panky, which
woohoo.
is something, a phrase that Sarah and I used to hear a lot when we were younger, and would say
Yeah.
it. Um, and so actually, the irony is, because it's so garish down that aisle, we actually do stand out quite naturally, and it looks quite nice. And that's what allows us to also be in other areas in retail, not necessarily just in the sexual health aisle. We can be on clip strips next to the beauty aisles, or by the deodorants or the period care, because of the packaging and the way our brand transcends.
That's amazing. So which distribution channels and which retailers are important for you in terms of your sales right now?
Yeah, so omnichannel is really important to us, both D2C and retail. And the retail gives us that trust and authority by being in a key retailer on shelf next to other players. At the moment, we're in Tesco, Sainsbury's, Boots,
Oh my
Ocado,
God.
WH Smith's Travel. So we have quite a great footprint in the UK, over 2,500 doors.
Can I just ask,
Um,
when did you launch in? Because I knew you were in Boots, but when did and WH Smith? When did you launch in Tesco and Sainsbury's?
18 months ago, I'd
Oh
say,
my
in
Yeah,
God.
about 2
Sainsbury's.
years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well done.
Sainsbury's just before.
That's incredible.
Mm.
Yeah, well done, girls. That's just huge, right? Okay, keep going. So you've got your online store, yeah, and then you're in those big retailers. I presume Boots is really important as well in terms
Yeah,
of
Boots
Yeah.
size of
bra.
business.
I think all of them, in terms of being a new challenger brand, you know, it's a medical device at the end of the day, condoms, and, you know, supplements and intimate products that you're, you know, using in intimate areas. You need to trust them. And I think, you know, although there's, you know, myself and medical backing for the company, it's still very, you know, it's a very new product, and there's a lot in terms of moving brands from a big trusted brand that's been around for decades to someone like HANX. So being on shelf and being in these heritage brands like Boots, heritage stores, then it really helps support
Sure.
our
Because
product
what if
range.
you know that if they've, I mean, as a consumer or a shopper, you know that if Boots or any of these retailers list the product, then it's okay because the due diligence has been done. So it's like a shortcut, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
And so I was obviously perusing your website and seeing all of the wonderful new products that you've got into. So started off with condoms and then lube, and you've also got toys for female pleasure.
Yeah.
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 I would
Yeah,
urge
sorry.
anyone, I would urge
Yeah.
anyone to go on and have a look, because it's not what you would expect. It's not like the standard old-fashioned toy for female pleasure that you'd expect. Looks incredibly interesting. Great film as well that you've made for
Oh,
that.
thanks.
So I just want a teaser for everybody to go and look on your website. Go and have a look at the film for that particular product. It's absolutely fab. Of all of you, what else do you have? And then you have, oh yes, so you have the female vaginal microbiome. Do you have products for that? What else?
Our main products are condoms and lubricants, which we launched with. And as you mentioned, we have a toy, Cindy, which is very accessible. All of our products are kind of built with our customer in mind and built with from feedback. So that was very much a product from the community. And then we have supplements. We talk about a lot of taboo topics. So, you know, sex, intimate health, vaginal health, pleasure. Female libido is a very stigmatized topic with lots of kind of myths and misconceptions. So we have a supplement that we created with a women's health nutritionist as well, and myself, for libido, female libido.
And
we
is
have
that
pregnancy.
sorry to interrupt, but is that like
Not
a powder you put powder in water? How does it work?
exactly. It's a powder to add to drinks. It's a sachet peach flavored supplement with all the necessary nutrients, and that goes into your drink of choice essentially.
So it's like a herbal Viagra for women.
Exactly.
Okay, that's amazing. And it looks like your condom box and condom sachets, doesn't it? There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
I thought that was
Farah.
really clever. I thought that was really clever. That you almost using the same packaging. I bet are you using the same box or the same box supplier?
We're not
Well,
actually,
Oh,
but we make
lots.
sure they are pretty
They
much the
look
same.
the same. That looks brilliant.
Yeah.
And so really what we're saying here is that the footprint of the brand, where it started out just in women's sexual health, is now moving to be women's gynecological, sexual, intimate health, plus, anything to do with you said fertility you were starting to look at. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I mean, so we have supplements for pregnancy as well, and I think a lot of kind of, as well as our branded products, we also have a pharmacy offering, and we found that in our community there's lots of, these key milestones in women's health. There's a lot of education needed, a lot of taboo, and a lot of products out there that aren't really built with women in mind. So fertility is one key area, whether that's people trying to get pregnant or people interested in their fertility or potentially wanting to freeze their eggs or want to know their choices, understanding their body.
Okay.
And so we have, we've recently launched, as part of our pharmacy offering, a weight management program, whereby people can come and they get groundbreaking GLP-1 medications, as well as support for diet, exercise, and
And is the
content.
weight loss, like, is the reason for the weight loss that people might want the weight loss because they're trying to get pregnant, or is it just weight loss in general?
Yeah, absolutely. That was one key area. So again, during my time in fertility clinics, often one of the key things initially would advise patients if they were overweight, that actually that would be a key step to having infertility. So that is, and people with things like polycystic ovarian syndrome, they may have insulin resistance, prone to getting diabetes. These medications are really, really amazing for that group of patients. Even during the menopause, when women's hormones are changing, our focus very much is on women's health and supporting people in these key areas. And yeah, weight management is one thing
one of
that came
those,
up time and time again. Yeah.
So HANX is becoming, it's no longer just a condom brand. HANX is a women's health brand, women's wellness brand across all of the different life stages and all of the different ways in which women's bodies show up at different life stages, right?
Yeah, and exactly. And I think what's beautiful about our brand is that our customers have grown with us. So when we were initially the condom girls, our core audience were 25 to 27. Now, 7 years on, they're at that stage in their life where they're either looking to egg freeze, prepare for having a child, etc. So it's really nice that we can stay with them on their journey.
Okay, that's wonderful. Wow, that's really wonderful. But it's great. I'm just thinking, for all of those listeners out there who are building a business, you have a really clear pathway in terms of how you build NPD, how you engage your community, this idea of like life stages and the different ways in which women's bodies, hormones, activities, their life cycle is so much material for how you can, because there's so many different needs at different life stages, so much insight that you can reap from your conversations with them and then deliver back benefits or deliver back solutions to their pain points at different stages. It's wonderful. I'd say there's a lot of brands so imagine you have like a drinks brand, right? It's not that easy, is it? Whereas you guys, because you have this across all ages, and then you've got like the pleasure bit, you've got the health bit, you've got the reproduction bit, all showing up in different ways at different ages. I mean, I'm sure, my reproductive health or my pleasure health or my, microbiome health at my age is very different to someone's in their late 20s or early 30s. So that's just so rich in terms of different need states that you can find solutions for. I love it. To any investors out there, I don't know if you guys are fundraising. I know that, Farah, you've said in the past that fundraising is a consistent, ongoing for a business, not for you guys, but in general, you've said on other podcasts that fundraising shouldn't be just seen as a once-off, that it's kind of an ongoing discussion with people all the time, right? But I'm kind of rambling now. But I suppose what I'm thinking is this is just such a fertile place to
Forgive the
play.
pun.
It is, yeah, but it is. It's such a fertile market. There's so many things that you could do with your brand and you are doing with your brand. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's a really exciting juncture for us as well. We've, you know, launched these products in different areas. We've grown with our customer base. We're really offering them what they want. And as Sarah said, we do a lot of customer research and every time we launch a new product, to know that we're fulfilling that. And I think, really we have built the trust and authority in this space. We've built a community. And I think that's something that you can't build overnight. And the fact that we've been able to do this for 7 years puts in a really good stead to be able to offer these products at different stages. And I guess a key milestone for us was receiving investment from Morgan Stanley, their
Wow.
inclusive ventures arm, because, I have fundraised previously only through angels, but have spoken with VCs in the past. And the reality is a lot of LPs that back these funds often have vice clauses that say that preclude them from investing in the likes of tobacco, adult content, etc. Ours is a healthcare mission, but people do see it fit us under the bill of adult because we sell sexual health products. And so it's a huge achievement for us to get investment from a huge institutional bank that would have gone through various committee to get that signed off.
No, congratulations. That's amazing. That's amazing. You should probably have a radio show as well as a podcast. And, I can imagine Dr. Sarah being on the end of the line, and you guys having different episodes on different things, one on fundraising for women's health tech, and another on dial-ins, people ringing in with all of their different issues, get that community going across the whole of the UK. Do you have any export business?
Yeah, so we do sell in the US actually. We recently launched direct to consumer in the US.
Okay, how's that
And
going?
it's going well. I mean, we actually launched in the US as a result of organic demand. So without spending really any marketing there, we had so many customers come to us to the UK site. So the US was like the second highest traffic site for us. And then we had a bunch of retailers reach out to us, such as Urban Outfitters in the US, asking if
Oh,
they could
wow.
stock our product. So they were key indicators for us, but actually we're such a small, lean team. So we did manage to get the FDA approval for the condoms to sell in the US, and we worked to get a US entity set up. So we've got a logistics warehouse there, etc., which all sounds very easy, but Sarah's has been tasked with that. And actually, as a small, lean team, it takes quite a long time to set up internationally.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sarah, I know that you're in an office with lots of people around, so you're on mute sometimes. For anyone who's watching the video, Sarah's had to come on and off because she's basically walking around a shared office looking for different cubby holes because people have been really
I'm in a cubby
cranky.
hole.
Yeah,
It's
people
been
have
one
been
of
really
those
cranky,
mornings.
haven't
I'm
they?
really sorry. And I didn't actually realize people would also be watching, so apologies. But yeah, I'm basically just running around trying to find little cubby holes, and I've got one now, and it seems to be a
Yay.
good so yeah, apologies.
There's got to be a term, hasn't there, for the cranky person in the shared workspace who doesn't want anyone to talk. But if we can hear anyone in the background there, we can hear them now. Please don't switch off. It's just because Sarah has to, sit in a cubby hole. Come back off mute, Sarah, because we
Thank
want to hear
you.
more from you. So what was life like changing from, leaving your career as a doctor and setting up a business?
Gosh, I mean, a real whirlwind, very different, as you can imagine. So yeah, I was working in obstetrics and gynecology. So, lots of clinics, all the way from fertility clinics to menopause clinics to general gynae clinics, obstetrics. So, delivering babies, emergency cesarean sections, theatre lists for both gynae and obstetrics. Very varied, but obviously very medical. So going from that to building a business, building a team, working out marketing messages, as Farah mentioned, the operational side of things, so efficiencies and,
Product
creating a brand that can be
development.
shipped. Product development, which is fun. Like Farah and I, we actually went to school together, and in chemistry class, we actually met in chemistry. So we
cool.
got back into our chemistry days, put our lab coats on, walked around condom manufacturers and figured out what the best, what we needed from a product. And so there was a lot of that. And again, very varied, but very different. And we were lucky enough to be part of an accelerator when we started. Through a co-working space called Tree, and they were really supportive in kind of introducing us to key people, giving us sessions and branding and things that we'd never really been exposed to before. So I think that was a really good leg up, and we've had some amazing investors that have come on board from the beginning, who have also been great supporters and introduced us to people that can mentor and support us through the journey. So yeah, very different, slightly naive when we first went into the business, as I think most people are, but so glad we've done it. And ultimately, I feel that as HANX as a brand can have much more of an impact and make much more of a difference than I could have as one single doctor. So really excited as to where we're going to go with the business and also what we've done so far.
And where are you going to go? I mean, HANX in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, what would you like it to be?
I mean, we've kind of discussed already, going from one taboo space around sexual wellness and obvious need state, and then moving across those key taboo life stages and milestones of women's health, especially during the reproductive years. And I think we'd love to be the brand that mums recommend for their daughters and aunts recommend for their, friends and nieces. And, it's that whole life stages of a woman, all the way from first time having sex, the first child, menopause. And I'd love to be one of those household brand names.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a beautiful metaphor, you know, the brand that mums and aunts recommend to their daughters. That is so different from, say, the brand that, you know, the stars have in their handbags. It's
Exactly.
totally different. Do you know, which this reminds me of, the last episode I did was with Ruby Rout of Wooka.
Oh yeah.
Have you
Oh,
met
yeah, those
Ruby?
guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's part of a group we're in. Yeah,
By Women Built.
the Great by Women Built.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah,
Fiona.
yeah, it's the group of women that I want to be part of, but they won't let me be part of it because I haven't built anything in, you know,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like tangible products. So I'm very jealous. But yeah, Ruby's amazing. I mean, she's got very similar model, very similar thought process around the stages of life, and, you know, about, you know, aunts and mothers and all that. Like, there's so much to learn from each other.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, love her and the brand. So yeah, definitely parallels there.
Well, I am so glad that we've been able to have this conversation and that I've been able to learn about, you know, all of the different ways in which your business is developing. And I have no doubt that you will be that household name for women's health. I can't wait to get online, and I'm definitely going to order myself some of your supplements and all of those things, because it's really beautiful. Your branding is beautiful, your packaging is beautiful, and it's definitely something that you wouldn't feel bad about having, you know, buying or having in your house or having in your handbag. So huge congratulations to you both. And I look forward to following your business development and staying in touch, and hopefully having more laughs and more cries in the future.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Fiona.
much.
It's been a lovely chat, and thanks for your support.
It's been great to talk
Thanks.
to you. Bye.